Hey y'all, welcome into Super Boss Tarot. I'm Gigi and this is my channel. I haven't did one of these in a long time, but I have felt basically guided to talk about this topic, and I think it's going to bless y'all, okay? So I have been feeling, and I don't know if it's because it's like holiday cuffing season, I don't know, but this topic of spiritual love was put on my heart to speak about, but also love readings. Okay, so on my website, love readings are now available, and they've been closed, y'all, for maybe a year. I don't know, like they haven't been open, but now they are. You can book and order a love reading with me, and they're fairly quick, and I basically go in and look into the relationship that you want me to look into, okay? But this was put on my, it's not anything that like I looked around and noticed. I mean, it is out there, but I feel like I'm in that healer mode of being able to kind of like see through this. So the topic today is spiritual love, and I'm so excited because I haven't did one of these like talking topic videos in a while, okay? But this is about using discernment when it comes to connecting with new people and feeling that, you know, this is a spiritual love, and this is my twin flame, and this is a soulmate, and this is a this is a that. And even in terms of using karmic in a like almost like a derogatory way, or like a way that's, you know, frowned upon, right? I want to take away this elevated look of soulmates, or like the energy of putting people on a pedestal, right? This person is pure, this person is this, like this biased look at everything, and understanding first that everybody is human, everyone has a light side and everyone has a dark side, okay? But don't go rushing into relationships because you think someone is spiritual, okay? You sitting down and they're into astrology, they know their sun, moon, rising, okay? And granted, I will say, like, if you are a spiritual girly or witchy woo woo, whatever you want to call it, and you meet a guy and you're talking about signs and they know their sun, moon, rising, it's like, okay, hold on, okay? Because most people, they're just like, oh, I'm a Leo, oh, I'm a Scorpio, oh, I'm a this, and they only know their sun sign. And our sun sign is literally just marking the season, the zodiac season that we were born in. You know, our moon sign talks about how we relate to our feelings and how we deal with our emotions and our feelings, and it's connected to our intuition and our feminine side. You know, the rising sign is how we come off, how we exude, right? But anyway, so it can be impressive, not impressive, but it could be like, oh, like an eyebrow raiser, like, oh, okay, you know something, right? Or men who you sit down and you're talking about chakras, right? And you're talking about crystals, or for me, I can gauge, and you have to understand that there are different levels of spirituality and people, and it's not to put like us versus them or anything like that, but there are levels of spirituality, and you know, people who are newly introduced to spirituality, they're speaking the lingo or the jargon or whatever, but it's like an introductory thing, you know. To me, high levels of spirituality comes in when you have emotional intelligence. Well, that's more so like healing, right? But if I sit down with someone and they understand the foundations of religion, they can quote certain things, right, from certain religious texts, not just the Bible, but what the Gita, like, you know, certain things, right, the Buddha, all these things. You can tell that they are enriched in like philosophy of religion. They're enriched in the history and the culture of religion. And they know how to apply that in their life. There's a lot of this energy that's like, okay, I'm spiritual. I'm taking every single message from every reading I see, from every self-help post that I see or whatever, and it's a lack of having spiritual discernment. That's another thing. In terms of people being introduced to spirituality, you also have to develop your spiritual discernment, right? Or your intuition, right? And so for me, I learned about spiritual discernment because, growing up on the Christian side, and you always hear your pastor talk about ask God to give you discernment, ask God to give you the wisdom and the know-how, right? Not just praying for a man or praying for a woman or praying for money, but asking God to give me the wisdom, you know what I mean? Give me the ingredients that I need to where I can keep this a constant in my life, that give me a sustainable plan, God, show me the way, give me spiritual discernment, give me the wisdom, right? Give me the knowledge that I need, connect me to the spaces, the places, and the people and the energy that I need, right? So it's just not like that one thing. But going back to what I was saying, don't be rushing into relationships because you think someone is spiritual, okay? Because they got and this I'm being neutral, like whether this is a man looking at a woman with crystals all wrapped around her head and copper, meditating on her Erykah Badu shit, or men who sitting outside, in the sun and doing yoga and tai chi and talking about chakras and whatever, right? Knowing about the cosmos and the universe and all of these things. Either way it goes. And I'm going to say this, a lot of people's spirituality is aesthetic. And that's something that I've come across a lot of people, and they say like, I would have never thought that you were into what you were into, or that you were highly spiritual, because you don't dress it, you don't look it. And that's because spirituality is not a personality for me. It's just a part of who I am, right? My personality is more so of a creative, I guess you can say. Like I'm, went to school for art history, went to school for PR and advertising, and all of that teaches you how to basically be a creative business on your own. So I've always studied art or business that was connected to art. You know what I mean? So that's more so of my my personality. And then also growing up, I was into ballet, I was into tap, I was into jazz, I was into different genres of music. And I'm just using myself as an example. I'm not trying to, talk myself up, whatever. But I know me, so I'm using me as an example. So my personality is more so about like my life experiences and all of that, and just what I'm more so gravitated to, the energy that I like to be around, I worked in a library for years. I love books, so it's, I travel a lot, so, I very much so give Sagittarius rising. Okay, I very much so do. But that's funny. So that's like my personality. Like I don't feel like I have to, put a wrap on my head and put a crystal wrapped in copper on top of my forehead and stick incense in my titties. I don't know. I'm just, but you know what I'm saying? How it's just kind of like outlandishly, locks in the hair and or the hotep thing or the whatever. It does, like, my spirituality isn't a personality. And so sometimes you have to watch out for the aesthetics of spirituality. I'm serious. Somebody could be in a business suit and be like highly spiritual and nobody knows that. But that's also a spiritual understanding of like, you are you, but you are still connected to your beliefs or whatever spiritual system that you have, that it doesn't totally take away. But now I do feel that there is something to wearing white all the time, or light colors, or even dark colors, if you know how to man your energy right. If you wear all black but you activate that black as a like a ward of protection, right? Not that it'll attract and take in all of the energy around you, because black can do that. So everything with intention. But anyways, I said that I have my notes right here. There are many different spiritual levels. This is a big indicator, y'all. Okay, this is a huge indicator. when it comes to like spiritual love and all of these things, okay? Please, y'all. Because a lot of y'all is karmics, you know, and I don't want to use it in a derogatory term, but it is that you and this person are coming together to either learn how to become independent, right? But you can't get the lesson of independence without the situation of codependence, right? And that could be anything. And that's another thing. Soulmates and karmics and life partners and twin flames and all these things. Well, twin flames a little bit different, but soulmates can be anybody. It could be a stranger. It can be a lover. It could be a friend. Like, I have a life partner, right? And this is like the definition of a life partner that I've in my life, in my experience. My best friend I consider is a life partner. That relationship has taken many different dynamics, right? And it's taught me a lot of things, and it's taught him a lot of things. And so he's a constant in my life, and I'm a constant in his life, right? And that dynamic has changed a lot, but it's taught us a lot, right? So that is a person that that I can see that can always be in my life. And then there can be some times where I have to go off and focus on healing myself. He has to go off and focus on healing himself or whatever. But it's like we always gravitate back towards each other, and it's not in a codependent way, okay? A life partner is someone that you can do life with. That's somebody that you can you can communicate with. That they're a constant in your life. That and I think that sometimes. Okay, so a life partner is like you can do life with here, like earth. Like it's very earthly. You can have a family together. You can build a business together. You have the tools to build together. That is life partner energy, okay? Life partner energy. A karmic is somebody who comes around. Sometimes people do marry karmics and they have kids with karmics and things, whatever, all these things. But the thing is that, and again, God knows everybody and the purpose of why we meet people, okay? But this is, again, I'm explaining this for like spiritual discernment, okay? Sometimes somebody feels like a soulmate because the energy that they have feels very familiar to you because where you come from, your home environment, they feel, oh, that person, they feel like a soulmate. You know, they remind me of, you know, probably remind you of your mama, probably remind you of your daddy, probably remind, you know, something like that. Or you feel like you know this person already or whatever. So we have to be very discerning, spiritually discerning when it comes to the people that we're connecting to and already labeling them as a soulmate, already labeling them as a twin flame, already labeling all these things. I'm in an energy and have been in an energy, and I've talked about this on my channel many times. I connect with people and I let the energy be. I'm not a titles person, right? And I can understand, like, I have over the span of 20 years have identified that my best friend is has the energy of a life partner from all the spiritual research that I've done and the experiences that I have had in my life, that he's a life partner, okay? But the labeling, this person is my twin flame, this person is, and I'm telling you, there are many times where you can say, oh, that's my twin flame, and in 3 months y'all are done, right? Or in 3 months, and not to say that, because a lot of times the twin flame dynamic is like a runner and a chaser thing, right? And the whole basis of that relationship is learning how to heal yourself and how to show up whole, okay? So it is a twin flame. I don't believe that twin flames are like toxic. I feel that karmics are toxic, like very lustful energy, gold digger energy. I'm fucking her and she here for the money. It's transactional. You know, holding power over someone, whether it's with money or withholding sex or what is it called? The silent treatment, not being able to, all of that. And I even consider like narcissistic type, all that is karmic. Those are lessons where you feel very constrained, or relationships where you feel very constrained and stuck and almost powerless. But the reason why you're in that connection and you're in that relationship is for you to wake up and find your power again. Okay, and that's why a lot of them are hard to get out of. Okay, whether it's financial, whether it's sexual. And again, you can have a karmic tie to not only a person, you can have a karmic tie to shopping. Okay, you can have karmic lessons are karmic lessons. You can have a karmic lesson with lustful energy in sex. You can have a karmic energy with addiction in terms of like drugs, alcohol, whatever. And we can step onto another level and talk about generational karma or generational curses, right? I don't like to use the word curse because there's powers in words, but, and that's what I was saying, going back, there's power in words, right? Watch what you title your relationships prematurely. Watch what you label your relationships prematurely with not doing the whole legwork, okay? And I always tell people on my channel, start with having a friendship first. I don't really play the whole we're going on the first date and it's romantic. I don't even know if I like you like that. I don't even know if I want to be, at a restaurant with a romantic vibe, in my dress and my heels, all done up, all this, whatever. Because all of that is like foreplay. You know what I mean? Like, you got your little black dress on, you got your number on, you smelling good. I just think, and that's another thing of just like intentional, like we're intentionally dating. So even if you are, some people are intentionally dating, if that makes sense, right? But you're putting out all of the energy that at the end of the night, we're gonna have sex. And sex is ritual, okay? So that you think the romance is in the air for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. I think some people are kind of clueless. They're like, oh, this is just what we do, right? We go on dates and this is what we do. But for me, I'm like, I don't even know you enough to see if I want to be in that energy with you, right? And I feel that sex is ritual. I feel that sex is sacred, and it is the highest power that we have, like spiritually, that we can do with another human, right? I mean, because you can have kundalini within your own energy, within your own self, right? But anyway, this is a number one indicator that you are dealing with the spiritualist or someone who is highly spiritual, okay? Or this could possibly be a spiritual love. This person is disciplined. Spiritualists are disciplined, okay? People can be into the topics of spirituality. They can be into the topics of, the basis and foundations of Christianity, Lord Jesus, and the foundations of Christianity. Wow, I can't say it. Christianity. Okay, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Of the Christian religion. Sometimes I do that. I don't know. Of the Christian religion is from Egypt. All right, Horus, Ra, all of these things. The Egyptians were the first people who had I guess you could say like a monolithic religion where they believed that it was a one God and it wasn't like a pantheon. You know what I mean? That the power wasn't split, I guess you can say, but that there was a one God that gives life and and all that. Sun God, whatever you want to call it. But again, understanding that the human species has gone through many different levels of understanding religion and many different levels of education, and understanding that within that time frame that they were living in and with the education and the know-how that they had, this is how it was expressed, and this is how it was practiced or whatever, right? But highly, like, spiritualists, people who are spiritual are disciplined. They can be sexually disciplined, okay? A lot of them, like, if you go and look up in historical texts, even in the tarot, right, within symbolism or whatever, if you go and look up the life of someone, autobiographies, whatever, if you go out and look up the life of someone who is deemed a spiritualist, a healer, a medicine man, a hermit, whatever, right? A medicine woman, or even a witch or whatever. These people are secluded. They are historically secluded. They have high boundaries. Meaning they have high spiritual boundaries. Even let's say the archetype of the crone, right? And in the tarot, the crone is the Queen of Swords, all right? And the Queen of Swords is the energy of, like, she has been the Queen of Cups, meaning I gave my love, I poured my heart to you, right? She's been the Queen of Pentacles, where I gave my time to you, I nurtured you, I educated you, like, in an earthly way. I spent time with you, I invested money, with you, whatever. And then you have the Queen of Wands, which is the energy of using, like, sacred sexuality, that passionate energy. I'm creative. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to feed myself. I'm disciplined with my life force energy. I work out. I know how to do my hair. I'm confident, right? That fiery energy. When you get to the Queen of Swords is no bullshit. She's all about the mind. I'm going to logically look at you, because I gave you my time, I gave you my energy, I gave you my fire, my sexuality, all of that. I showed you passion, I gave you time, I gave you my feelings, my love, and all these things. The Queen of Swords is the energy of the crone, because she already went, and they also say, like, she's the divorcee, she's the widower, right? She's seen a lot, she's been through a lot. The crone is that, right? And then even if you want to go back historically, I would say globally, not just within the US, but women who are known as spinsters, right? That's the Queen of, I hate to say that, but and men too, that's the Queen of Swords energy of just like, my heart is under lock and key. You know what I mean? That's crone energy. Crone energy, mother maiden crone or maiden mother crone. It's the evolution of the feminine energy, right? When you are the maiden, you are young, you are the virgin, right? The Virgo is connected to that energy of the maiden, right? Purity, the virgin. The mother is when a woman grows into motherhood, has children, has to nurture and all of that. And then the crone is the energy of the of almost like the evolved woman, where she's like in her 50s, she's seen a lot of different things, she has a lot of wisdom. But the thing is that you can be in these separate energies in different times in life. It's not just right. But the crone is known to be like off to the side. The hermit is known to be off to the side. The monk is known to be off to the side, right? So a lot of spiritualists are disciplined, right? They are either sexually disciplined. They are either very what do they call it? Minimalist. They don't have a lot of things in their home. And it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be consecutive across the board, all right? But because everybody is on their journey, right? Everybody is on their journey of healing. But I guarantee you that when you are dealing with someone who is a spiritualist or who is highly spiritual, because it takes for the person to be embodying that energy of highly spiritual energy to step into a relationship, right? Or into a connection with someone else. That is more of a spiritual love. Spiritual love takes maturity, and it takes discipline, and it takes a certain level of understanding many different spiritual principles, right? And not only studying it, but then living it, because it's hard, right? It's hard, like, just for instance, so Jesus came down, right? And Jesus wouldn't hurt a fly. And he was crucified, and he was telling the truth, and he loved everyone, but everyone hated him, and all these things, right? It's easier to be undisciplined and to give into your temporary urges of anger, your temporary urges of lust, your temporary urges of wanting to go buy that thing or whatever, right? So the thing is just that a lot of real spiritualists are disciplined in some manner, right? And I also think that they're not very, you have to get to know them, and they move slow. They're not like, and I just felt like I needed to explain this, because I feel like there's so much information, or there's so much aesthetics connected to spirituality, where you're like, oh my God, this person is woke. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, hopefully y'all get what I'm trying to, say. Also understand that someone can have spiritual gifts. You can date someone and notice that they have spiritual gifts. No, still have spiritual discernment, because spiritual gifts can be used in a dark way or in a light way. Okay? And I feel that if you are highly spiritual and you're getting getting to know or have a level of understanding of your own gifts, right? You can dip in and out, right? But I feel that in terms of using, I don't want to say dark energy, but I would say like more of protection, like more of defense, I don't really necessarily call that dark, but it's like protective energy. Sometimes you have to know how to like play chess with that energy of whether you need to self-protect, right? Sometimes, and I hate to say it, but so when I'm connecting to somebody and I just know, right, that they're trying to emotionally manipulate me, or for me, it's that air sign, Queen of Swords energy of like you trying to play on my intelligence, right? See, my dark side, and that's what I'm saying, right? My dark side is like, well, I'll just turn into a mastermind and I'll just, like almost like fox energy or trickster energy, to where like, oh, well, I'm just playing back, you know what I'm saying? But I've learned how to like just not even do that, because you don't match energies. But if I have to, I will, right? If I feel like, okay, this is a situation where I need to lightly deal with it, right? I will jump into that. I really don't know. It's playful energy, like, because it's like you playing, right? You playing, but I'm a play back and I'm gonna win the game, right? But you always and I don't think that's manipulative. I just feel like that's being smart, right? Because it's like you're trying to play me and I'm playing you back, and you think that I'm serious. You see what I'm saying? So that is like what I mean with light and dark. If you have to go and start playing defense, or even if you really want to do, if you have to play offense, like I would say, like if you have to set a pick, if y'all have ever heard of basketball or whatever, not basketball, but if you ever heard of setting a pick, like the big man steps out and blocks you, you see what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you have to, if you know what you're dealing with and you know how to shut it down, then like, yeah, I'm okay. I'll set a pick and I'll block you. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll just use my energy in the way that I know that I need to. It's just knowing the person that you're dealing with. Whether you want to say in love, well, I don't want to say love because that's not love, but when you're dealing with someone and they're trying to use love as a way to manipulate you, and it is out here. Okay, it is out here, and I'm not one of those healers that's just gonna tell you, oh, toxic positivity, all love and light, and all of these things. If you got to get down, you got to get down. Period. You know what I'm saying? If you have to let somebody know, I'm not the one or the two, because sometimes you have to. You don't have to do it with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying match energies, but I'm saying you set your play to where you don't have to deal with them no more, right? Or whatever. But a lot of spiritualists, they have strong boundaries, like I was saying earlier. And that's the thing. When you have strong boundaries, then you know how to exert those boundaries when people don't want to respect your boundaries. That's another indicator. People are, oh, I'm spiritual, da 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 da, but they don't respect your boundaries. They don't respect your privacy. You say, hey, this is my, draw the line in the sand. They cross in the sand. They think shit is sweet. That's not anybody who is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? And that might be a karmic in terms of you needing to learn a lesson of how to set extreme boundaries, right? But a lot of spiritualists know how to set a boundary, whether it's spiritually, hard, spiritually, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of that, okay? Mentally, all of that. Spiritualists know how to protect their energy, and they can come off kind of hard, like hardened, right? But they understand the power of protecting one's peace and not letting in all of this. These are people who want to play. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people out here who want to appear spiritual, but they trying to play. And so that's the thing. When you come across a real spiritualist, they have boundaries up. And they're not trying to get in bed with you overnight, okay? They're not trying to take you off to some polyamorous tribe, okay, overnight. They're not trying to do all of these things, all right? And again, this is just my take. This is just my take, all right? So people can have spiritual gifts, both light and dark, but you have to watch this because men and women who are controlling in a relationship, they can start sending you evil eye. They can start to mull over in their mind, especially, I'm going to say Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, they start to really get fixed on a lot. Sagittarius don't give a shit. Aquarius don't give a shit. Leos don't really give a shit. Who else? Oh, Aries, baby. They will get stuck on it. These are like, they will get stuck on it and start in their mind mulling it over. And we do have mental powers, right? And I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, this person is thinking of me and they are totally manipulating my energy. No, 9 times out of 10, you're just like whatever and you've gone on, right? And that makes people, that's like cutting a cord. And sometimes that makes people like more obsessed or more like they're really on my mind because your energy isn't there, right? And somehow in their system, they're like, I'm missing this person. And this person is used to having their way. They're used to being controlling. They're used to setting the plate, all of that. So, but people who have spiritual gifts can pick up on it, whether it's shown to them in a dream, whether they get a vision or whatever. And that's how you know, I know that's how you know, that you can tell or know that you're engaging with a certain energy. You can identify that energy, okay? But those are people who are really like, they're really like stuck on your energy. You will be able to pick it up, right? Your spirit guides, your honorable ancestors, they will let you know. You will be able to pick it up, all right? People who are connected to their gifts and all of that. Again, I said it, sex is ritual. It's the most powerful force that we have. Your energy can be uplifted, healed, or depleted from sex. Anytime you have sex with a person, and I've noticed, and I'm not trying to like classify or slut shame or anything. I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying, from a spiritual standpoint, people who have like tons of sexual partners, not sometimes, most times, they have a sexual addiction or they are addicted to the feeling, right? This is the energy of like energy siphoning, right? People who can't be alone, they need sex, they need some sort of like fulfillment, right? There's something there that's like lacking, and it's like to me, it's kind of like parasitic or leech-like. It's like, I need this energy to keep going. I need this feel-good energy, right? And a lot of times they go after people who they feel are very pure, like, and that's anything. But anyway, but they go after people who they think is pure because that's a nice source, it's a source that will tame them for a while or, whatever. And it's like good, like it's good, like it's a good hit, basically, But understanding that when you have sex with someone, and I've noticed that a lot of them, their energy looks very depleted. Like, you're supposed to keep your life force energy, right? It's the energy of like, they almost look very drained, you know what I mean? Very, very drained. And then, they're more susceptible to have venereal diseases, and disease is of a low vibration. I hate to say it, but it is. It's a infection in the body. It is something that is taking life, that is depleting life, Also, spiritualists or people who are spiritual, who can operate in a spiritual love. Okay, spiritual love is not toxic. Okay, operating in a spiritual love. They understand self-care. So they're not all up in your grill all the time. They're not obsessive, right? Because they understand that I need me time. I need to love on myself, right? Just like this plant, right? I need to water it. It needs fresh air. I need to put in fertilizer sometimes I have to move it around. I have to exercise. I have to give my water. I have to focus on my routines, my body, like all these things, right? Self-care, self-love, right? But also, self-love branches over to the valuing of self, understanding that I'm worthy, right? Understanding that I'm worthy, that I have strong boundaries because I love myself, and I'm not going to let just anybody into my energy, my aura, into my womb, right? Into my mind, into my heart. The Bible tells you that, watch who you allow in your heart, because from the heart flows the issues of life, right? Be careful who you give your heart to, People who are highly spiritual, they value themselves and they love themselves. They're not highly accessible to everybody and to everything, and they're not doing everything with everybody and all that. It does not make sense. Like, spiritually, it doesn't make sense. Now it makes sense that this person is on a spiritual journey, right? And they're going through karmic lessons, and they're being shown, this is a challenge. This is your weakness. This is what you can improve on, right? And I'll just use this as an example, a very small example. And I think I've used it before. I did not like my legs. I used to always wear pants to the point to where, and I'm already light skinned, right? My legs would be significantly wider than everything else. I would hide up and cover up my legs. I didn't like them. I was like, oh my gosh, I have big old thick thighs, all this stuff, whatever. That's what people want now. But I started working out and everything. My legs is my favorite part of my body. I had acne a lot growing up, right? And I used to be like, oh my God, my skin, I don't like my skin, all these things. And again, beauty affirmations and all of that, it does help. But finding products, and again, that talks about self-love and self-care. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn your skin, right? You have to learn what your body loves, because everybody is different. Somebody may say, oh, well, this works for me and it doesn't work for you, right? Being intentional with your self-love and self-care, you have a deepening of a relationship with yourself, physically, mentally, spirit, all the things, honey, all the things, emotionally, journal, all the things, okay? And so once I started taking time and taking care of my skin, I'm like, oh my God, I love my skin. It's glowing. I'm drinking water. It's the most water I ever drank in my life. I have a skin routine, all of these things. I'm loving on myself. I'm speaking to myself with love, speaking to my skin. You're beautiful, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's her name? Miami was like, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to hit every day. I am that bitch, been that bitch, always will be that bitch. And that's her affirmation, it don't have to be that, but it can be a little more positive. But when she was saying that, and again, Aquarius woman, a very confident, independent woman, when she said that on that interview, I was like, yes, yes. She's like, I'm gonna hit every time. She's like, I'm gonna hit every time. But you have to speak life into yourself, right? Giving yourself that self-love and that self-care, okay? To where those are just my examples of where my weaknesses became my strengths. Where you have weaknesses is where God is trying to show you that you can master. That's all it is. And we ain't got nothing but time. Like, if we're living life, that's what we're supposed to be focused on. We're supposed to be evolving, whether it's like I'm on all levels, right? You don't have to be doing it all at the same time. There's a time where you could just be focusing on your physical health, but you want to, 333, mind, body, soul. Every day, do something for the mind, body, and the soul. Or mind, body, soul, emotions, right? Every single day, you want to do something that feeds that. And that's self-care, whatever. But, yeah, I wanted to say that. People who are spiritual, they love themselves. They're not going to be all up underneath your ass because they need time for themselves to give themselves self-love, and then they give you time. And then, but that's another thing. A lot of people who don't know how to give relationships the time and energy that they need, it's because they've never given themselves the time and energy that they need. They've never loved themselves properly, so they don't know how to give that energy to anybody else, right? When you sit down and go on a date with somebody, you have to have already asked yourself the questions that they're going to ask you, to where you know how to answer it. Like, I'm telling you, it's like your dating life, your relationships, all that, it is a reflection of you. Somebody sit down and they, they ask you like, oh, what do you feel is your purpose? You're like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And yes, that's a hard question. That's a hard question. But I'm just saying, like, what is your passion? What sparks you in life? What are the three most important things to you in your life? What are your spiritual beliefs? What is your spiritual foundation? What is your spiritual principles? What are your personal principles? What are your values? Where do you come from? Like Nipsey said, the roads that you coming from, we're going to see. You don't know who's swimming naked until the tide comes in, right? Like, is what you saying matching, But that's what I'm saying. You have to have already basically essentially dated yourself and got to know yourself to be able to tell somebody, this is my beliefs, this is my principles, this is my values, this is what I'm passionate about, this is my plan for the future, this is my 5-year plan. And that's another thing. Know your plan for your life and make sure that the relationship or the people that you're talking to or trying to get to know, that it's feasible to be in your plan. I want to have kids. I don't want to have kids. I want to travel for 5 years. I want to stay stuck in one town for 5. If the town that I ain't never left in a day of my life, I want to continue to stay there and live a small town life, which is okay for some people, right? But a person who wants to be nomadic and explore the world and, they want to explore and expand their horizons, that's not gonna work. So you also have to get this foundational understanding of like, we work. And not only like, I was gonna say we work into each other's plans, but not only like, it's just one person's plan. That's another thing. You have to watch out for women and men who want you fit in my life. Okay. But you won't have a life within my life. You're going to stick to the script of the narrative that I made for you. You're going to be stay at home wife, and you're going to do this, that, and the third. And I'm going to take my money and I'm going to dominate over you. And if I say you eat, then you eat. And if I say you don't eat, then you don't eat. You see what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that your life narratives that you have for yourself are highly compatible. All right. And that's the thing. I feel like foundationally, this is the big things. And these are, if someone is coming toward you and they are a true spiritualist and they are wanting to have a spiritual love with you, right? Which again, like I'm saying, spiritual love can be many different like levels, but I'm just trying to help people get an understanding of like, just because a nigga sitting up in front of you talking about chakras and fucking zodiac signs, that don't mean, and he talking about he meditating, that don't mean anything. Or a woman, vice fucking versa. That don't, herbs and this and you lighting candles and all of this stuff. With what intention? You know what I'm saying? With what intention, and how well do you know yourself? So all of this stuff is very popular right now. All of this stuff is very popular right now. I was doing this stuff when people was like, you demonic. You know what I'm saying? When it was the time of like, you step out the spiritual closet, people thought you lost it. You know what I mean? That is not, now it's something that people want to make money off of. And like I said, I was in Home Goods and I bought this tarot deck, right? It's tarot decks is everywhere and spirituality is everywhere. So I bought these dice off Amazon, the Astro dice, but I was in Five Below and they had the same exact ones, So it's very, you have to have spiritual discernment no matter what religion that you are into or what spirituality that you're into, whatever, okay? Also understanding this, fighting for a man because he's your soulmate in your head. Like the whole twin flame, like this shit is real, y'all. I'm not sitting up here saying that it's not real. This shit is real, but what I'm saying is that a lot of this stuff takes time. You have to use your spiritual discernment and you have to take time to get to know people. And God will send you signs that this is my person or whatever the heck. And I don't want to say my person because for me, and this is, I feel, a higher level of love or of spirituality. I don't own you. You don't own me. I don't own anybody. That's love. I'm not going to dictate to you because God already gave you your script. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to try to overpower you or dominate you or whatever. But also, that ain't happening in the reverse. You know, I'm my own person. I do not belong to you. You know, even with a ring on and all of these things, it's all of this domination, this codependency. That's my soulmate. I'm gonna create havoc and war because that's my soulmate. That's my twin flame. That's my. If you have to do all of that, that man not choosing you. That woman ain't choosing you. You see what I'm saying? You know, and it's like, it's codependency, and that's what I was saying a lot of times with a lot of us. We go towards, we think, oh, this is my soulmate because this person feels familiar to me. They feel familiar to you because they are in the same energy that your daddy was in while you were growing up, or while your mama was dealing with all of that. Or vice versa for men and women or whatever. A lot of men become the men that their mother dated. That they like, oh, fuck anything, I don't like him, da 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 da. And went on the path and became him. You know, a lot, and vice versa is, you know, a lot of women go after the energy that their daddy was in, or that a prominent male figure was in their life. And it is what it is. Our parents are not perfect, right? And they did the best that they could. They did the best that they could with what they had and the knowledge that they had. And back then, the black and brown community, which I feel is more of, you know, what I have here. But anyway, but just in general, mental health issues wasn't taken serious. Therapy wasn't taken serious. That was quack shit. Now, I'm not about to go in there and talk to no quack about this, that, and the third, right? In the black and brown community, back in the day, depression was like, huh, what? You better get your ass up and go to work. You don't have time to be depressed, right? And then also, there right now, I feel like there is kind of a deprogramming happening when it comes to, like, we're doing these traditions just because we saw our mamas and daddies do it, right? And then even seeing that some of these traditions, they didn't last. Divorce happens, right? The shit didn't work. It didn't last, right? But we still have these foundational beliefs of like, oh, I need to stay in an unhappy marriage, or I need to stay in abusive situations, and oh, he's gonna change, and oh, she's gonna change. And the biggest one, oh, I can heal him. I'm gonna be his savior. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not using my life energy for that. You know, I feel like, and I do feel that a lot of divine feminine energy or feminine energies or women in general are learning that. I'm not being an overly caregiver to any grown ass boy man. I'm not doing that. I'm not signing up for that. You know what I mean? And again, if I was to have a son, I would raise my son up to be not that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is just that there are so many different foundational, traditional practices that we've picked up that they are archaic. Okay, they are archaic in nature, and we are in a total different ball game. We are in a total different space and time, right? A lot of women were married because that was what you do. That was considered your job. You didn't have the option of going to be a secretary. You didn't have the option of being a lawyer. You didn't have the option of being an entrepreneur. You didn't have an option. That was your job. And that is how you were taken care of. A lot of marriages were, oh, they were married 60 years. Oh, they were da-da-da. Because where would she go? With 4 kids and no fucking job. Where would she go? Right? Where would she go? This whole, oh, I'm choosing my family and I'm choosing, and being abused, whether it's mentally, physically, being thrown out, toxic, cheated on, all of these things. And that's why I say, like, whatever. Self-love starts with choosing you. You know, and I'm just in that energy and I'm in that vibe of like, my life source energy is very important to me, right? It's very important to me. So, like everybody else, they have the option and they have the freedom to choose what they're going to do with their time, right? Your life force energy and your time, these are things that you don't know how much you have. Right? So I'm very much so, like, when it comes to my life, like, I'm not playing. And especially when it comes to, like, love. And that's why I was like, I feel very pushed to talk about this. Because a lot of times these men are wasting, not both of them, men and women, okay? They both ain't shit on certain levels, okay? because I'm not trying to make this bias, but a lot of people have lost their baby making years because they waiting. They waiting for him to change. They waiting for her to change. They waiting for him to choose her. They waiting to be chosen. They waiting. Choose your damn self and go choose somebody else. There's always more opportunity, right? There's always more options. You're not stuck. It is billions of people on earth. And that's how I look at it. It's just like, it's my choice. Now, whether I want to take my time and say, I'm going to go fuck off, whatever, that's up to me. But for me, I'm not wasting my time when I know and can discern with people who are not ready. And then also but I'm still doing my growing too, right? You know what I mean? And that's very fair too, because I'm fair on both sides of if I'm not ready, I'm not going to waste your time. And I would expect the same respect, you know what I'm saying, back. But, oh my gosh, y'all. Let me get to my points. But I just had to get this off my chest, okay? A spiritual path is all about finding peace and evolving. It's about stepping out of the inner war within the self that is actually being projected and put out into the world. That's being projected from us out into the world, right? Like I said, creating war and havoc of, that's my soulmate, that's my twin flame, that man is mine. Ain't nobody yours. No one belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? Even in marriage, just in terms of on a spiritual level, you do not harness the energy of someone else. You are not their life force energy. You do not give them life. You are not pumping their heart without them thinking. You know what I'm saying? You're not collapsing and expanding their lungs. You're not, none of that is you. You know what I mean? None of that is you. And I just feel like, and I've been saying this for years on my channel. Y'all know how I am in terms of detachment. And I'm not saying that you don't emotionally attach to people, because when you're not able to emotionally attach to people and have an emotional connection with someone, that's a sign of mentally something could be not right. It's okay. But what I'm talking about is overly attachment, codependency, being addicted to a person, thinking that you own a person and they need to do what you say and that you can't live without this person and all of these things. It's extreme, codependency. You don't own nobody. Okay? But the point that I was trying to make is that people who are often in war, oh, that's my man, I'm fighting, that's my woman, I'm fighting for the love. You don't have to fight for love. You're fighting for attention and time and energy, which that if somebody loved you, they would give that to you. And that's what I'm saying, that I'm a person where I'm I'm not going to allow you to waste my time. I already see the signs that you don't love yourself, right? That you still got healing to do. You're not there yet, And that's the thing. Some people, it is a decision to say, okay, well, I'm going to deal with this person and as they are and all these things. You can do that, and I'm okay with that in terms of up until a certain level. I just want whoever that I'm dealing with to be very serious about their spiritual path and very serious about their healing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just I'm not wasting my time. And I do have goals for myself in terms of if I become a mother, I'm very clear on the father that I want for my children, and the energy that I want around my children. I'm not from this old time. Yes, I see the tradition of all this stuff. I'm not sticking around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not letting my kids grow up in toxicity. I'm not letting my child grow up around some angry, abusive person, some emotionally manipulative person. They're not going to see their mother being dragged through the damn house or just being dragged through the mud verbally, all that. It's not happening, and that's something that I'm very serious about. So, and that starts with literally dating. You can't get to that point. So that's what I'm saying. It's this energy. I'm very intentional just with my energy and who I want to connect to and just all these things. Another thing for me is I don't budge on my spirituality. If you don't like the job that I do, if you don't like that I do tarot, or you don't like that I'm a spiritual person, or that I have a Creole background, or that I know herb knowledge and that I know candle magic and all of these things, and I love my plants and I'm kind of like an earthy chick, that's a problem. I'm sorry, I'm not changing my religion for you or what I believe, or that's a foundation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm just some off the chain spiritualist or whatever, but yeah, we're gonna have white candles going on for protection and for the Holy Spirit to come up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like my what I believe and all of that is it's I feel like some people can get confused by it or whatever, but what I'm just saying is I'm not changing. No. No. Now, in terms of like, okay, there are certain things like for me, bro, my communication, I communicate very sharply and very truthfully, and I don't. I just like I feel like I just don't be having the energy to sugarcoat stuff, and especially when we're dealing with grown adults, right? So I'm just gonna say it how it is, and now I feel that I can improve on the way that I feel like I have, but I feel like I can improve on how I communicate certain things. But if I have already picked up an energy off of you, I'ma read you. You know what I mean? And my track record is it's 100%. I have never came across somebody and misjudged them or misinterpreted the energy that they're sending me. I have never missed. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that like, oh, whatever, but I trust my intuition and I trust my spiritual discernment and I trust the wisdom that I get from God, okay? The Holy Spirit, my spirit team, and my honorable ancestors. I believe that I am a highly protected human being. And how my life has gone and what I've experienced, that is true. That's true to me. Like, you know how people A through Z, as true as A through Z is, that's how truthful that is for me. That is my experience, and I am 10 toes, and I know that about myself. And a lot of people who have crossed me, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to get out of character. And when I do get out of character, that's another thing of me, like, okay, my healing part is like, you don't even have to get out of character. It's already taken care of. Like, you just need to stay focused, right? But anyway, what else? Watch people before you commit. See their patterns. Be friends first. This is just so loud, y'all. Be friends with people first. Because the thing is, when you a homie, they not trying to put on. Right? They'll start trying to put on when they're like, oh, I think I really like this person. And like, I'm going to try to put my best foot forward, whatever. Hold on. Because I feel like... Okay, yeah, I feel like we need a little more light. My face was like darker on this side. But, yes. They'll start to be like, okay, well, I want to put my best foot forward. I want to make sure I'm looking like this. Da, 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 da. But when you homies, all of that is not really important. And that's the thing. Like, I don't want somebody who is like trying to put that mask on, whether it's the knight in shining armor or knight in shining armor, yeah. Or all of that. I'm not into that, right? Because can't nobody save you. Only you can save yourself. So I'm just very much so like, you just need to come in and like be yourself. And the thing is like, even if you are being yourself and it's not like, I don't want that vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't have to be like negative, or you know what I mean? It don't have to be something that's just like, oh, screw them, whatever. It is just like the vibe, that's not it. The vibe isn't there. And sometimes you can have the vibe and then something happens and the vibe is gone. Like, and that's another thing of like, when you are truly connected to somebody and you value the connection and you watch the way you move with them and you watch, you know what I'm saying, how you show up and you're committed to actually showing up in the energy and the vibration of love, and that, you know, you're not treating them any kind of way and all of that. Like, I'm very big on when I'm in my relationships that like, if I'm having a moment, I'll be like, I'll get back to you like when I'm chill, because if I say something right now, you're not gonna like it and I might do damage or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm very like intentional of like with the words that I say and how I show up, you know, because like I'm trying my best to stay in the energy and the vibration, the frequency of love, and showing up in my highest self. And sometimes like you need space to yourself to figure out your own emotions and then come back to it, right? Be friends first, okay? And again, a lot of people will use spiritual knowledge against you and try to gaslight you, toxic positivity, You know, they are behaving like a narcissist or whatever. What I'm saying is like they trigger you, right? You blow up because you like, okay, I done had it, I done did all my praying and all my meditating, and I done did this and the third, and I just had enough. I'm to my wits end with it, and you blow up, and then they're like, oh look, she crazy. Oh look, he crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So there's things of like, and to me that's like, that's somebody who's like setting the play against you. Like, that's not a person. You playing too many games. Like, and I just feel like when you are serious about developing a relationship with somebody, or somebody who's like, oh, this is spiritual love, they not own that, you know. But again, you can have a spiritual lesson that could be a karmic. That karmic is spiritual as well. We come together, we had this contract because we need to learn this, that, and the third. We need to learn how to be independent. Is basically what a karmic situation is. And this is the shit that happens over and over and over again, right? Also, if you can get a gauge on like what their family relationship is, what's the relationship that they have with their mothers and their fathers or whatever. And like I tell you, and I've told y'all before, like me and my mom, you know, were more so close, and not so my dad or whatever. Like, he's here and there, and that's how I deal with men. like I'm very aware of like my shit, you know. I deal with men from a distance, and that's what I'm used to. I'm not a person who's like super boy crazy, and never been like that. I've been very like an independent thinker, and I've always identified when a man is like running game on a woman, like being emotional. I'm like, y'all can't see that? Like, what are you know? And like I say all the time, like in middle school, I noticed that women were fighting over, well, the girls were fighting over the boys, but the boys was like, yeah, I smashed her, yeah, da da da. I'm like, this is not. So I told myself in middle school, I was like, I'm never fighting over a dude. And then logically, I'm like, it's billions of people on earth. Like, these are principles that I have been living like since I was in middle school. These are principles that I've just, and I learned from experience. I learned from my life. So I learned a lot from seeing, right, and then experiencing my own relationships and stuff like that. Of just like I had. There's an instance where two girls was fighting over my boyfriend. I was like, y'all both look dumb. I was like, and I'm just very real. He using you for your car. He using you for your money. Like, and understanding, like, and then coming up out of, you know, my neighborhood or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You gonna run game to be on the upper hand. Like, I get it. Like, you know, so, I just always been very like realistic. Like, I just look at the experience, and I'm like, I'm not in this facade in my head, this like romanticizing and, you know, not seeing it for what it is, and, you know, seeing the situation for what it is, and seeing somebody for who they are and all of that, you know. What else? But yeah, that's a part of learning people. You know, you learn people. So a lack of self-awareness. If somebody has a lack of self-awareness, but they talking all the stuff online, or they just talking about spirituality or whatever. I feel like it's something on my glasses. And some men, they actually use this as a you see it online sometimes, where they be like, if a girl asks you about your birth chart, la la la, right? Having a mixed perception of self, meaning that like they kind of flop, like one day they're like very like spiritual, and or they're just talking about spiritual topics, and then understand that like we're all on our human journey, and sometimes we are in like a unsettled storm of trying to figure ourselves out. But I feel as if like if you are truly on your spiritual journey, then you know, like, I think this is a time for me to sit this out and like work on myself. It's nothing wrong with being like, this is not the season for a relationship for me. Like, this is not the season for me to be toxic in a relationship. Like, I know that there's things that I need to heal within myself. I feel like that is the energy of operating out of a spiritual love. Like, I know that right now I'm not my best self, and I know that me becoming my best self may be far off. so I'm gonna let you go forward and do whatever you need to do, whether that's you get married to somebody else, whether that's you have kids with somebody else, whether that's you move to another state or continent or whatever, right? You cut your hair, you lose weight, you gain weight, whatever it is, like, you are free to go. I'm not gonna hold you up, you know. Spiritual love is rooted in being able to think outside of oneself in a way of like, I love this person and I choose to love this person, and today the way that I choose to love this person is communicating to them that I'm in an unhealed space right now and I need to take my space. You know what I mean? And being able to identify that. Putting people on pedestals. And I've had that a lot. Just like, bro, I'm not no angel. Like, oh, I almost said something. I'm not, there's many different levels to me, but I know, and that kind of was put out on Instagram. I had posted, I had a night out or whatever, and everybody was like, oh my god, no. I'm a grown ass woman, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got my different sides, but people will put you on pedestals and think that, oh, you're pure and you're gonna heal me, and no, I'm not. I'm not focused. You have to heal you, but I can be a light. You know what I'm saying? I can be a light. I can be inspiring to you, and I could, me existing how I exist, whether you see that as pure or whatever the hell, a light or whatever, I can exist in that energy, and if that helps you along your healing journey, okay, that's fine. But no, I'm not about to twist no man arm, anybody's arm into, all I could do is be a catalyst for change. That's it. Like, whether it's the word, and normally that's what it is, things that I say. And this is something that I just do, that it's in me. I meet strangers and start talking about the things that they just need to hear, and they're like, how did you know that? Like, what the heck? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just sitting here. I'm just talking, and it's something that I naturally do. It's something that I don't have to try to do, What else? Yeah, putting people on pedestals. Understand that the honeymoon phase is real. Understand that masks are real. And playing games is real. And these are just things that your spiritual discernment can recognize a mask, and that's you've saved yourself from lost time. Playing games is inconsistencies, And I'm just very, like, for me, I think that where men mess up with me is that they use the same tactic that they use on many women, and then I've like obliterated the game, right? And they're like, oh shit, like, oh, they kind of get intimidated, but at that point, I've already determined that you are not continuing on to be America's Next Top Model. No, that you're not what I want. And then they try to do I'm going to try to save it. No, right? Like I said, spiritualists are very concerned and very, very serious about their boundaries. If you don't protect if you don't respect someone's boundaries and all of that, that's out. Especially being Aquarius, that's out. We love our space and our me time, that's out. You know what I mean? Being emotionally, like, all over the place, that's out. We don't deal with that. That's why we don't deal with water signs. I love y'all, but big outbursts, embarrassments, and all of that, no. Nope. So yeah, your spiritual discernment can help you identify mask and inconsistencies, playing games, inconsistencies, right? So if someone was to join, I always use sports as an example, or just whatever, right? Someone joined the chess club, and they're like, oh, I want to be the greatest, I want to be the queen's gambit, right? I want to be the best chess master, or I want to become a chess master, whatever, right? And you have the person that they're at every practice with their chess master. They reading every book. They reading every play. They are connecting with other chess masters. They're getting next to people that they can learn more about the game of chess with, right? Then you have the other person, they're like, yeah, I want to be a chess master, and they're not even at practice. They're inconsistent in practice. You know, they're inconsistent with studying their craft. They're inconsistent. That's what I be saying. Like, it's a lot of people who are out here unintentionally dating, and I don't have time for that. Like, I don't have time for people who are not clear on what it is literally the fuck that they're doing. And I just feel like it's not rude, and it's not like, oh, you know, you're hardened and all of that. You're not gonna play with me. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that a lot of us dating, we ain't in our 20s no more. Like, we 30 plus. You're not. I'm not doing it. And I'm also in the energy of, like, if I haven't settled this far, I'm never settling, right? So there's just this energy of, like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not. When people are inconsistent, like Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I think that was Maya Angelou, right? You showing me that you inconsistent. And that's what I'm saying. I don't really understand when there's so much war and havoc and going back and forth over men and women who are in relationships with people who are inconsistent. Why are you fighting for inconsistency? And see, this is the thing. Like, when you say this, or people don't like to hear the truth about anything, right? And a lot of people don't like that you're confident and that you know your worth and that you value your time. You know what I mean? And that you seriously love yourself. You're not playing in my face, right? And that's what I'm saying with this whole spiritual love thing. Oh, that's my twin flame. That's my this. That's my that. Stop trying to label everything and let your relationships just be what it is going to be, right? The lesson will show up, or the love will show up. And just let it be that. But also know when to identify. When you are in a loop and a person keeps doing the same thing over and over again, that is a karmic. That is a karmic, okay? If you meet somebody and you and this person, y'all get along so well, but y'all may not have the sexual passion there, right? There may not be like a lot of chemistry there, but this person is almost like a best friend, right? Y'all can get money together, right? Y'all can like build something together. This is somebody who is a constant in your life. That's a life partner. This person, and it could go through different dynamics or whatever. Like, it could be sexual, it could be this, it could be that, whatever. But I want to find the words. I want to find better words to describe a life partner. But it's someone who is a constant. You know what I mean? They're constant in your life, and you can build and have a relationship with them, and that it's like lasting. It's almost like this is a person that you can marry, but there is no like, it's not karmic. There's no loops. There's no loops there. You know what I mean? But it's almost like you can go through a lesson, but they don't repeat. You'll go through a lesson and that cycle is closed and y'all both get it and then y'all move. It's like it's a constant elevation, right? But now a spiritual love, like a twin flame, this is when your gifts almost start to activate. And whether you believe in it or not, but telepathic communication, it's just very, very highly spiritual. The sex is on another level. And it's very rare. I'm going to say that too. Because I feel like everyone is like, oh, that's my twin flame. No, it's not. Y'all have great sex. Y'all look good together. So what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, I'll say this. If you are having sex with a person and y'all have visions after, or y'all have visions during sex, that your energy is that, and it's another thing of like, a lot of people are dealing with toxic energy, obsessed energy. If you are obsessed and codependent, bro, stop talking about a twin flame. Stop talking about a twin flame when you are obsessed. Obsession is a karmic energy. It is a karmic energy, okay? You being obsessed in your mind with that's a karmic energy. Like, I can't not, like, that is a lower vibration. That is, let me find the devil card. Because spiritual love is freeing. You know, they say, okay, twin flames, they break apart and they come back together. Yeah, because they're focused on their own life journeys and their own spiritual situations and lessons, and they come back together. You know, once they've learned certain things. That's why I tell people all the time that I don't believe that you are meant to be with one person for the rest of your life. You are taught, you learn lessons about yourself, and you evolve and you become a better person when you have more life experiences and when you meet more people. And that's why I'm saying again that some soulmates are strangers that you at a coffee shop and y'all end up striking up a conversation and they tell you exactly what you need and they go on and you don't see them in this lifetime again. But that conversation that you had with them that day was life-changing, right? You don't feel obsessive and, oh, I gotta cling on to this person. People who are obsessive and clingy, that is a parasitic energy. That is, I feel like I need a life source. And that's what I'm saying, that I am on here trying to explain to you guys these different levels of spiritual love and being able to identify certain things, because I'm being completely honest that some people have have lost their life in codependent relationships, very toxic, obsessive energy, okay, thinking that this is a twin flame. That is not a twin flame energy. That's not a twin flame energy. That is parasitic. And if anything, when we talk about, oh, that's demonic, that's demonic. So, and that's what I'm saying, that when you are dealing with someone who's highly spiritual, or you're dealing with someone who wants to say, oh, I'm looking for my spiritual love and I want all this and all da-da-da-da-da-da, they're not. Love is freedom. It's truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's, look, the devil card. Stuck, in chains, bound. This is passion. This is lust, fire. Over here with the grapes, that's wealth. That's abundance, right? Some people are in relationships because they don't want to fucking work. They want to be taken care of. They want to be lazy. And some of them say, oh, well, me dealing with this abusive person it's a trade-off for the money that they're giving me. That's not a spiritual love. That's karmic. It's karmic. And I'm saying all of this because and I've done 1,000 love readings. You know what I mean? Literally, I have done so many love readings, and that's why I just opened up my books again to be able to do these readings and help, along the process of being able to determine what's what. Twin flames are rare, guys. They are rare. They are so rare. These people are not your twin flames. And it's nothing to be upset about. And it's nothing. But the thing is that people are falling trapped under the illusion of thinking that someone is a twin flame and that being obsessive with this person. This is energy that is dangerous. This is energy that is unhealthy. Okay? The people who want to take your freedom away and don't want you to expand and don't want you to grow and don't want you to be confident in yourself, and they want to just keep you, and they want to keep you in chains, and they want to dominate to you, and oh, you're my lifeline and you're my life source. No, they're not. Anybody who does that is not a lover. This is a person who is extremely depleted of self, and they need something else, They need another person to remind them to care for themselves. They need another person. Oh, I'm going to care for myself because I'm in this relationship. Oh, I'm going to care. It shouldn't be that. You need to start with self-love first. And let everything. And y'all know y'all are used to this way of me communicating, But I had to get this out, What else? If it is yours and it has your name on it, you don't have to worry about it. If it's mine, it's mine. You know what I'm saying? If it's mine, it is mine. I don't have to go to war for it. I don't have to I'm trying to prove myself and all of that stuff. If it's mine, it's mine. If it's my throne, it's mine. If it's my title, it's mine. It don't matter of like the time, right? It don't matter if it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. If it is mine, it is mine. You know what I mean? If it is my journey, it is my path to walk. If it is my throne, it's mine. It ain't nothing stopping it, right? If it is my relationship, it is my relationship. It is my soulmate, it is my soulmate. And that's why I always tell people to move with confidence. You know what I'm saying? Move solid in your spot, or whatever you want to say. Move in confidence with who you are. Like, understand that, like, your path is for you. It is only for you. Can't nobody take my spot. It's not even available. You know what I'm saying? And that it's not even available. I am my spot. It is mine. It is already mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this I'm going to the edges of the earth for this, and I'm fighting for this, and I'm doing all of this, and I ain't got to fight for shit. Whether you want to call that cocky or ego or whatever, I don't have to fight for shit. What's mine is mine. And by me being in my unique energy, right? Me being in my own frequency, and me being an authentic human being and walking in the path that I'm supposed to be walking in the gifts that are mine, walking in the gifts that God has given me, right? It's mine, and it's only mine. You know, it is what it is. Like, I don't believe in like, oh, it's blocked. Who said who? Right? And how? In what way? You know? And I believe in that. I believe in being confident. I believe in being confident in your spot, or being confident in your gifts and talents and all of that stuff. Anybody who trying to humble you, they don't like your confidence. And if anybody who don't like your confidence, whether that's in a relationship or a friendship or whatever, anybody who don't like your confidence and want to chip away at that, that's not a friend. That ain't nobody that I want around me. That ain't somebody who want to check you into submission and all that. That ain't got shit to do with me. That's not the energy. That's not a frequency, you know what I'm saying, that I'm on. Or that anybody who loves themselves should be on, you know. So I just wanted to put all of this out there because, and I want to say this. Sometimes you need the lesson, and that's why it's there. Like, sometimes you can get confused, right, and be like, oh, this is my twin flame, and all of that. Sometimes the lesson is learning how to get out of the illusion of a person, right? Like, don't romanticize and don't fantasize and don't put somebody on a pedestal and all of these things. We're human out here. I don't care if you have a supernatural ability. You are a human, okay? You are a human. You are a human. You are a human. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are humans in this experience, even though we are spiritual beings, okay? There is a massive human element to us that is freaking fallible, you know, and and very flawed, you know, and you can't save them. This whole, oh, I'm the divine feminine and I'm gonna nurture, and I'm not doing any of that. Whether you want to say I'm in my masculine energy or I'm balanced on both, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not Jesus, and I'm not coming here to save your ass, okay? And that's another thing of like, you can't, when you're in this energy of trying to save somebody, it's like, don't be surprised when they can't do their part in the relationship. When you come in to save people and all this and you crutch them, don't be surprised when they can't show up in a relationship and give you what you need or what you want, because they can't even get themselves what they need. Right? And that's why I always say, like, my challenges is a blessing. My stepping stones is a blessing. I don't want no shortcuts. People who take shortcuts, their position isn't secure. And that's what I'm saying in the energy of like, you are operating your real frequency and your own energy and your unique frequency and your energy, and you on your experience, and ain't nobody writing your narrative for you like you hear you doing your experience. You know what I mean? That energy. You can't save them. Only people can save themselves when they are in their own authentic energy, and that they're in their experiences and they're taking their lessons. That's why I say I'm not doing all the rigmarole or going back and forth or whatever. The lesson is the lesson. And any lesson that I've gone through, I'm grateful for, because it has made me a stronger person. It made me a more solid person, you know. And it was there for a reason. It happened for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes you need the lesson, and that's why it's there. Right? You waste 10 years of your life running behind the same person. Sometimes you need the lesson. Sometimes the lesson ain't have to be that long, but because we're stubborn and we're bullheaded, we're going to still do it. Right? And that means like, okay, then that was justified. You needed the lesson until you saw that, until you understood your own value and your own worth. And I'm seeing that like a lot of people get intimidated when you understand your own value and your own worth. So, and I feel like we're a reflection of the time and energy that we have put into our life. Right? So I'm a person who I have studied a lot of spirituality. I am college educated. And when I say that, like, and I hate to say it, I'm not trying to be like biased or anything like that. I am spiritually college educated. Like, I have taken philosophy of religion classes. I have taken history classes. I have taken art history classes. I have taken Native American history classes. I have taken African American history studies, bro. Like, all of this, I am inspired and passionate about history and spirituality and understanding other human beings and also understanding some esoteric things, right? So I feel like the energy that you put, your time and your energy that you have put into whatever focus in your life, right? That is a reflection of what you are. A lot of people, they don't want to do the work. Right? They want to have the spiritual wisdom and they want to have the guidance and but they don't want to do the work. They want to appear to have done the work. They want to appear that they have some sort of high spiritual knowledge. And that's what I'm saying, that a lot of people who are in that energy, they want to appear spiritual and they're like, oh, I want to find under my soulmate and all this and all that. And have no fucking idea of what it really entails of all. You know what I mean? They're not learned, I guess you could say. Like on Step Brothers, he said we're learned doctors in this house or something like that. It was funny, but I feel like we all have a choice. We all have a choice of where we want to put our energy in. And the decision of, okay, you took all your time and your energy to up to this point to be a lawyer, to be a dentist, to be an entertainer, to be a this, to be a that, to be a whatever, to be a mother, a father, whatever these titles are, whatever, right? Well, that was your decision, right? Even in terms of how some people are, they're jealous of other people's beauty. That they was born that way. They were born that way. That's just what it is. But whether it's they look to other people and see lack within themselves, whether it's their reflection of their beauty, the reflection of their self-confidence, the reflection of the smile on their face, child, their joy, you know what I mean? Because it's not only like, oh, people are jealous of you because of the money that you have, the material things that you have. Some people are jealous of the relationship that you have with your family. Some people are relationship that you wake up and you smile every day, and that you wake up and choose your joy every day, and that they can't knock you. Some people are jealous because of your mind, the way that you think. Some people are jealous just because you're unique. You can't find nobody nowhere else in that energy, right? Some people can be jealous of you because you got a green thumb. I'm just looking around. You know what I'm saying? People can be jealous of you because you make coffee this way and they want to be able to make coffee this way. Some people jealous of you because you lost all that weight. Right? Oh, she lost the weight because this, and this is the thing. Just continue to be you, because people are going to always have shit to say, and people are going to always try to humble somebody who is confident, you know? But I just wanted to say all of this, okay? You can be a light, you can be love and light, and you can show up in your relationships and all these things. But I've been having like right now, and I don't know if it was like eclipse season or whatever. Right now, Spirit has been talking to me about teaching on how to apply spiritual discernment in your relationships, right? And stop falling for the mask, whether it's a man who got money or a woman who has money, or stop falling and romanticizing from, and a lot of that comes from the energy of literally like child storyhood. Y'all, the movies that we watch as children, and the books that we read, as Beauty and the Beast, and just all of these things, right? She's a fucking prisoner in the damn Beast castle, and you've fallen in love with the y'all. You know what I mean? Like, we have to. Oh Lord, I love Sex in the City, but Sex in the City has yeah. You have to be careful. I watch these shows, right? I've read these books. I grew up on it, but you have to be able to look at these things and don't let it actually go to your subconscious and start dictating your relationships. I'm telling you, people in that like a little bit older than me, like 40s and up, bro, that whole Sex in the City shit, they looking for they big. A man who, y'all, come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to watch these narratives that you are letting into your psyche. And then you start, oh, this is my big, and this is my, there's power in words. You calling a man your big, and he is your big. Like, he in and out of your life, and he inconsistent. And he married, and y'all fucking on the side. And it, like, what do you really want for yourself, you know? Like, just straight up, like, sit down and think to yourself, like, what do you really want for yourself, and stop romanticizing. I think that's what it is, of like, and I'm saying this in a loving, I'm saying this in a loving way, and I be trying to tell people that I'm just very straightforward in how I communicate, but ain't nobody coming to save you. And when you are in the energy of looking for a knight in shining armor, or looking for someone to take care of you, and it's okay to want that, right? But you have to understand that you came into this world by yourself, and you're gonna leave out this world by yourself. And it is nothing more fulfilling and satisfying of knowing that you have you, that it's optional. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to be in a relationship because I know that I got myself and I can take care of myself, right? And anybody, I don't care what level you are on in your life, but anybody who is striving for that, I'm rooting for you, because that's like you taking yourself serious and you betting on yourself, and you not just settling and I'm just gonna go and do this and get taken care of and be in these toxic dynamics. It's codependent. It's codependent, and codependency can get you killed. I used to say this on my channel, and I'm going to start bringing it back again, okay? I'm going to start being in relationships, and you seeing these signs, and you not listening to these signs, and you wake up not wake up one day. Like, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, I have heard some things. It is best, y'all, to operate in self-love and self-care. It is best to prioritize your love within yourself over a love with another, right? And being caught up in these toxic dynamics and being lied to over and over again after being at the hand of abuse, okay? And that's another thing for a lot of women. Abusive relationships is something that can be generational karma, or generational what would you want to say, trauma, or generational curses, you know? It's we have to choose different for ourselves. And I feel like I was saying, right, these narratives of Sex in the City. Yeah, I watched Sex in the City. You know, I watched the Cinderella and the this and the, and again, she's a servant, and she's cleaning up under people. You have to look at the narratives that are being sent to you for you to be programmed, especially as women, bro. Especially as women. Like, we live in a patriarchal society. Like, it is what it is. So you have to be able to, if you want to navigate this life and you want to create your own narrative, you can watch it, right? Whatever. We watched stuff like Cinderella, right? Oh, you only got one chance to get the prince, you gotta get dressed up all pretty and you know what I mean? It's whimsical, it's very it's very pretty and it's very cute and all of that. But at the same time, it is programming. And I even say now to men who have daughters, or women who have daughters, that to be, I'm not the person who want to tell people, oh, Santa Claus ain't real, right? Like, if they like the Disney princess or whatever, that's cool, that's fine. And, but I feel like there needs to be a little dose of, like, like a little seed of like, you know, you can be your own prince. Like you don't have to wait on a prince to come save you, and you don't have to, you know, you're not invalid. Like you're not like, and I don't want to say that in a derogatory way, but like you're not powerless, right? You can have your own kingdom as a woman. You know what I mean? Like you're not powerless. And so I swear y'all, any album, any mixtape, any movie, any book, anything that has a narrative of like, I'm a powerless woman and I'm choosing a man over me, like I'm not. Or even the opposite way for a man to do that. Like I'm just not in it. Like I'm such a person who believes in like independence and believes that like we all, and sometimes it takes lessons to get there, but we all deserve to live like a joyful life. Like, and it don't have to be like all perfect or whatever, but I just feel like we all deserve to like bet on ourselves, that we don't have to be like, oh, I'ma just stay here because this is what's normal to me, and I'ma just keep dealing with it. A lot of people keep dealing with it and they not here no more, you know? And it's a lot of things that I'm like, I take a lot of shit serious. Like, bro, like I think things out, and I want people to understand that toxic behaviors toward you is not love, period. It's not, and it's probably only gonna get worse, you know. And so I don't know if you would call me like a, I don't really see myself, I don't know, I'm an advocate of independence, okay, for men and women. I don't believe that anybody should be in a toxic environment, dealing with toxic people, dealing with people who have given up on themselves, who have given up on their healing, and think that they can dictate towards somebody else or dominate somebody else because they're broken on the inside. Whatever you want to call that, I'm an advocate for people getting out of a situation like that and choosing themselves. I'm an advocate for independent thinking and free thinking. Stop letting all these narratives of what love is supposed to be like, and start to create your own definition of love and what you want your own love life to look like. And stop calling and putting names on your spells on your relationships premature. Oh, goals. You know, this celebrity couple, oh, goals. Oh, they at home knocking each other's head off. You don't know. You know what I mean? They getting cheated on. Oh, goals. No. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So just be very clear on that. But I wanted to talk about this because, and I'm actually getting ready to do a love reading after this, but I wanted to talk about this. I haven't had one of these, and if you are here at the end, I love you, love you, love you. Thank you for supporting me and listening to me ramble and talk my ass off, okay? And talk my shit. But I'm very passionate about it. And, you know, if only one person hear this and it lands, or 30 people, or 1,000 people, or whatever, I'm just happy that it hit, you know what I mean? And that this is a reminder. And I'm not saying, oh, just be by yourself, whatever. What I'm saying is stop letting people play with you. Especially if you're 30 plus, and if you are a woman or a man and you are looking for that person, right? Get out all of this, like, oh, that's my twin flame, that's my this, whatever, and get into the intention of it, right? Like you're dating or whatever you're doing. Be intentional and take your time, because taking your time can refrain you from wasting your time, if that makes sense, right? When you take your time and you get to know people, and you can get to see if they are throwing up a mask, if they are being genuine. And men love to use money to cover up all kinds of shit, to cover up a lack of confidence. And I'm not like jumping down men's throat, but what I will say is that more women are serious about their healing right now than men are. And it is what it is. But there's a lot of men who come across with a spiritual aesthetic. I don't give a fuck. If you are not actually on your healing journey, you can go. Like, you're not wasting my time. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm not dictating towards y'all, but I just feel like that is a foundation of like, I'm moving in self-love for myself. Like, ain't nobody wasting my time, and that's okay to be in that energy, whether people call you intimidating or whatever. Bro, this is your life, this is your narrative. That's what all I'm saying is, like, set your narrative for yourself, Value yourself, value your time and your energy, you know. Do things that are important to you. Like me doing this lights me up. I love this. I love this. I'm passionate about it, you know. And I feel like this is me doing my work and you know, putting out positive energy and letting people know, like, don't settle and don't give up on yourself and stop listening to albums and movies. But the thing is, like, you can watch them and you can partake, but don't seep that into your conscious, you know, your subconscious, to where then you're operating out of it. And that's a whole nother video of understanding how the brain works, you know, and what you're programming in your brain and all of that. So that's a whole nother video. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to your love life and your life in general, choose your own narrative, right? And then also be 10 toes. And I am very defensive about, like, my path. I'm very like, there's not a soul on earth who's going to dictate to me what I will become, or what my narrative is, or what my path look like. I'm very, like, 10 toes on that. I'm very protective and defensive when it comes to like my boundaries and my energy of, like, I didn't ask you for your 2 cents and I don't want it. And you'll know that I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, people who want to, you're too confident. So what? That's your problem, not mine. You're too confident, you know. Where do you get off, where this comes off arrogant, or where do you get off this, that, and the third, or whatever? I've been doing this shit for like 8 years now. Right? But people don't know, you know what I mean? People come and they make snap judgment. I don't care. That's what I'm saying. Like, no matter if it's in life, in love, business, your healing path, whatever, like, be solid in who you are and what you want for yourself. And eventually it'll come. You know what I mean? Like, eventually it'll come. Like, it is what it is. But a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like when you're sure of yourself and when you're not afraid of opposition and you're solid. Like, you know, I don't know why that is. I love people like that. I love people who are, like, in their own energy. They have their own unique vibe. They're not copying your style and how they dress. Like, they are very authentic to themselves and they bring their own energy to the table. Like, I absolutely love that in people. And I think it's because, like, that's a reflection of, like, myself. You know what I mean? That's the energy that I give out. And so it comes back or whatever. I don't see that in other people and say, oh, they're a little too confident. You know, like, I'm just not in that vibe. I've never been in that vibe, never been in that energy. And it could be that Aquarian energy. Like, I have so much Aquarius in me. I love people who are authentically themselves. Like, they don't, honestly, like, they live a life and they don't need to be inspired. Because, like, they own their own script and they just inspired by their own life and their own experiences, you know. And they're not looking, it's too much of that. Whether you want to call it copying, I feel like copying, imitating, all that shit is programming, right? Your love life looks like this because you're like, oh, this person is goals, right? Or how you dress yourself is like somebody else because, oh, this person is goals. And you can be inspired by other people and all of that, you know. Not saying anything like that, but if you like carbon copy, like, you're not in your frequency, like, you're not in your own experience. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can, and even then I can go back to saying that, like, a lot of spiritualists, they are a little secluded and they're different and they look like the oddball and they're weird and they're this or whatever, and it's because they are in their own energy. And having healthy boundaries is a big way, whether it's creatively, personally, like how you are, your frequency. It's a not looking at everybody, right? Whatever you're doing, whether you're a tarot reader or author or whatever, if you want to uniquely do something for the first time and bring your energy, then you can't watch everybody. You don't need to be inspired. That's not, and sometimes it's somebody's path to be inspired, and sometimes it's somebody's path to not. Life path 1. You know what I mean? Sometimes life path 1 is like, nah, I'm here to do it for the first time. And that's why the energy that I have in me is that of that energy. Like, and now y'all may be life path 1 through whatever, I don't know. But this is just a reminder, y'all. Stop letting people waste y'all time. Stop putting labels on, like, we don't have to be like, so that's my soulmate, that's a karmic, that's my twin flame, that's my, you know what I mean? Just let it be. You can identify it, right? Take your time in these relationships and getting to know people. Get out of codependency, you know. Don't come around here thinking that I'm gonna keep telling you, go back to them. Oh, work on it. How much working on it can you do? Right? You got this, you have the same problems. How much working on it can you do? You have to make sense of that. Okay, well, maybe I need to work on myself and this person need to work on themselves. Right? We don't know how much time we have left. We don't know how much life we have in our bodies. Stop letting people waste your time. Stop letting people play in your face, and be confident about it. And if anybody feels that like they're intimidated or they have a problem with it, that's their problem. That's a personal problem. That's it. I just wanted to say this because, and I'm going to start doing love readings or whatever. But and y'all, I haven't really been, because I move around so much now, I haven't really been in a space where I'm like, I used to like wake up, I can do it, but I have so much going on, there's so many moving parts that like, when I wake up, I'm kind of focused on practical things. Oh, I got to get this done, and I got to go, and I got to meet this person, and I have to do that. Or I need to do this, you know. I'm not really waking up in that energy when I was like working from home. I'm settled and whatever. Where I'm waking up and I'm getting my downloads, and I'm like, okay, this is what we talking about today. All right, this is what God got on the menu today. This is what Holy Spirit want me to, you know, speak about. And this came up, and it was just like, I know I'm supposed to be talking about this because it wasn't necessarily like it just came to me. Like, it wasn't like, oh, look what that's happening. Like, it wasn't, it just came to me. Like, God was like, I need you to remind them, you know. And I don't know who exactly I'm speaking to. And I hate when people say that because it's cliche. It's for somebody. It's just real pastory or whatever. But I don't know. And I think that so much healing happens in love relationships. And like, love is a healing force. I think that like the definition of what love is from God's perspective, or like from a spiritual perspective, is so warped to what it is now. People think that like, oh, it's toxic love. The word toxic and love is not synonymous. It's not synonymous. If it's toxic, it is not love. You know? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel, and then there's people just be so obsessed with exes and can't move on and all of this. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your life force energy waiting on people to choose you, and stop getting mad at people who telling you that, who telling you the truth. Bro, like, some people didn't wake up today. You know? Some people didn't wake up today. Some people didn't have the option to live. You got the option to live and putting your whole life on hold for a person from the past. Like, God didn't invent or create a billion other people. Like, I'm not for it, you know? And I don't care. I don't care about the opposition and all of that. I'm not for it. That's not what I stand for. And that's what, everybody has an option. Like, you can stay and watch it, or you don't have to stay and watch it, or you don't want to hear the truth. Everybody has an option to you know, to be able to take the advice when they know that people know when they're in toxic relationships and they don't want to hear the truth about it. Nobody likes to hear the truth of the shit that they need to change about themselves. Like, it is what it is, you know. But if you want to actually heal and evolve, and if you are a person who is like, I'm on a spiritual journey, then you take it and you apply it, and then you level up and you evolve, you know. And again, that's a choice. It's a choice. So I hope that blessed y'all. I know that I'm not the sugarcoating foo-foo, all of that, and I don't plan on changing my communication way. I think that there's a lot of people who are in that energy, and that, you know, if that's the way that you want to be communicated to, then that's out there for you, you know. But everything I say that I do on my channel is out of love, and yeah, you know, it is what it is. But what else? I wanted to say that that was put on my heart, you know, to say that. I think that a lot of people are being sucked into very toxic relationships under the guise of spirituality. A lot of people are being sucked into toxic spiritualists, fear-based spiritualists under the guise of spirituality, and it's not. Anything that is fear-based, somebody telling you that the damn sky's falling, the world getting ready to end, and you need to go and spend all your life savings. No, you need to spend your money on living your life, the life that you have left. And you need to do that with the people that you love, spending time with the people that you love, and not working yourself to the bone and thinking that materialism is going to... People on their deathbed don't talk about their money. They don't talk about their money. They talk about their loved ones and how they wish they had more time with their family, and how maybe they should have took better care of themselves and not work so much and all of that. And, you know, I take in a lot of... even if I find it online, I take in a lot of advice and information from people who are like 90, 80, people who have lived life far beyond me, and they've gone through and experienced things far beyond what I have already, you know, experienced or whatever. And it's just wisdom. I like wisdom. I used to sit and talk to my grandfather. I like to soak in wisdom, and I don't like stupidity, you know, and I don't like people who are, I don't want to say don't like, but I'm not grouping myself with them. People who love ignorance and stupidity and not applying things. And I understand that it takes time for people to grow, but I don't, you know, you know. But all right, I'm just talking too much. I'm about to do some love readings and maybe a pick a pal or something. I don't know. But that's what I have for y'all, and I hope this was that it bless y'all spirit, okay, and it put something on your mind. You know, map your shit out. You know what I mean? Create the narrative for yourself. Know your plan for yourself, and put up them blinders of like, it ain't about everybody else, and it ain't about what they want you to do and how fast they want you to move and all that. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? It's you, and it's your life. All right, and your source energy, and where that comes from is God, and collaborating with God, and taking your plans and you know, well, he already knows our plans, he knows everything, but having that moment, whether that's prayer, meditation, having that connection with God, and having that spiritual discernment so you can navigate a lot of things, right? Stop falling for this under the guise of spirituality. Stop trying to label everything. Just live your life and have the experience. And if it comes up like, I think this is, then okay, you know. But a lot of people are falling victim under this spirituality shit, and it's not. They're not your twin flame. Like, you know what I mean? They not a soulmate. Like, they are karmic. I mean, a karmic is a soulmate, but they're there to teach you a tough lesson. And it's from the dark. You know what I mean? Like, it's the lower parts of yourself, your weaknesses, and what you have to overcome, and all of that. All right? But I'm sending y'all love and light because I'm talking too much. Peace.